I wake up already tired, which is new because yesterday I slept like a civilian. Today the ceiling looks the same, but the air doesn't. The phone on the nightstand vibrates before I touch it. That's how I know. I am the president of Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky. The name lands with a dull thud, like a title placed on the wrong desk. Nothing else changes first. Then everything does. The door opens without a knock. Someone says, "Mr. President," as if it's a reflex, like blinking. I don't answer because I'm busy noticing how silence rearranges itself around me. People stop moving when I stand up. Hallways widen, locks surrender. Protection appears out of nowhere, the way mold does, quietly, insistently, already everywhere. I haven't issued a command. Reality just adjusted. Authority feels less like a crown and more like static. It hums. It irritates. It doesn't ask permission. Yesterday, I was a person with opinions. Today, I am a surface onto which expectations get projected. Courage without slogans. Fear without shame. That's the language I want. Instead, I'm handed phrases that already sound like headlines. My face is studied for confidence. My pauses are interpreted. Even my breathing seems to carry policy implications. There is money attached to me now. Influence, too. I didn't earn either overnight, which makes both feel counterfeit in my hands. The discomfort is physical, like wearing a uniform that fits perfectly and still feels stolen. People speak to me carefully, as if I might break or explode or decide something irreversible while reaching for coffee. The messages arrive in waves, encrypted alerts, briefings stacked like plates that never get cleared. Someone needs a signature. Someone needs reassurance. Someone needs a decision that will echo longer than my memory of making it. I'm told something is urgent. Everything is urgent. The word loses meaning by mid-morning. Security never blinks. Assistants never finish a sentence before the next one begins. Every sentence aimed at me ends with an invisible question mark. What will you do? I notice how quickly power erases the luxury of ambiguity. Silence becomes a statement. Jokes become risks. Irony becomes dangerous. This isn't excitement. It's vertigo. Power doesn't feel strong. It feels heavy and poorly distributed. It arrives fully formed, without consent, without training wheels, and demands fluency immediately. There is no rehearsal. There is only the performance and the damage control afterward. War, I'm learning, steals the obvious things second. The first thing it takes is proportion. Everything becomes too big or too small. Lives become numbers. Words become weapons. Intent stops mattering as much as impact. I haven't said anything yet, and still the room waits. I decide early that if this power is borrowed, I'm going to spend it the way people spend money they know they'll never have again. Recklessly, inefficiently, and on things that make accountants nervous. The first thing I do is cancel a speech. Not delay it, cancel it. No soaring lines, no applause cues. I tell the room I don't want to perform courage today. I want to talk about fear. Real fear. The kind that makes people lie, freeze, or outsource their thinking to flags and slogans. Someone clears their throat like I've sworn in church. I keep going anyway. I say out loud that bravery isn't permanent, that some days it expires before breakfast, that people who claim otherwise are either lying or selling something. By the time I finish the sentence, I'm told it's already problematic. That word travels faster than missiles. So I do something worse. I speak plainly. I admit uncertainty. I say I don't know the right answer to a question that usually demands one. Within minutes, commentators are debating whether this is refreshing honesty or strategic weakness. No one seems open to the possibility that it's just the truth. Then I leave. No cameras, no convoy choreography. I insist on it, which instantly makes it suspicious. I visit a hospital wing that doesn't usually make the rounds. I sit with people who don't want speeches. I listen without translating their pain into something quotable. Someone later asks for photos. I say no. That refusal becomes a headline all by itself. Apparently, helping people quietly is an aggressive act when you're famous. At lunch, I break another rule. I eat with people who are not useful. No donors, no generals, no symbolic optics. Just workers, logistics staff. A woman who hasn't slept properly in months and doesn't care what I represent. I don't announce it. The leak happens anyway. It's framed as unexpected and calculated, which is impressive, considering it was neither. Everything I do now exists in quotation marks. I answer messages I'm not supposed to see. I read notes marked "filter before briefing" and respond directly, skipping the ceremonial digestion process. This creates panic. I'm warned that raw access is dangerous. I already know. That's the point. Reality feels different when it isn't pre-chewed. Midday, I say something unforgivable. I criticize an ally without softening the edges. Not theatrically, casually. The room freezes. Phones light up. Analysts scramble to explain what I really meant. The strange part isn't the backlash, it's how quickly intent becomes irrelevant. Meaning detaches from words and starts orbiting power instead. By afternoon, my ordinary movements are being described with military verbs. I deploy myself to a meeting. I signal concern by rubbing my forehead. I escalate by asking a follow-up question. Someone publishes a piece interpreting my posture as a strategic pivot. I don't recognize myself in any of it. So I lean into the absurdity. I refuse to correct a misquote. I let it float. I watch how people argue over a sentence I never said, defending or condemning a phantom version of me. It's efficient, really. Truth is optional when influence fills in the gaps. Later, I do the most socially forbidden thing of all. I admit exhaustion. Not as a metaphor, not as a rallying cry. Just exhaustion. The reaction is immediate and hysterical. Some praise the vulnerability, others demand reassurance. A few accuse me of betrayal. Apparently, fatigue is allowed only if it's framed as strength. I'm amused. Then I'm disturbed. Because the pattern is obvious now. Words don't become powerful because they're accurate. They become powerful because of who releases them into the system. I could say the same sentence yesterday and today and watch it transform from background noise into a national event. As evening arrives, I ignore the final briefing and take a walk. No agenda, no statement. That, too, becomes a statement. Security tightens. Speculation blooms. Silence, it turns out, is one of the loudest things I can produce. By night, I understand the trap. Power doesn't just amplify meaning, it distorts it. It bends reality until sincerity looks like strategy and honesty looks like provocation. The most dangerous thing about influence isn't corruption. It's how easily everything starts sounding unreal, including yourself. Tomorrow, this ends. The title dissolves. The weight lifts. But the lesson sticks. Truth isn't rare. Permission to speak it is. As the day thins out, the building feels different. Not emptier, quieter. The kind of quiet that shows up when attention starts packing its bags. Phones still buzz, but with less urgency. People still say, "Mr. President," but the word sounds slightly past its expiration date. Like milk you drink anyway because it's still technically fine. I know what's coming. The power leaves before the name does. That's the strange part. Influence drains first. You can feel it in the timing of replies, the way suggestions replace obedience, the subtle return of friction. Doors don't slam shut, they just stop anticipating you. Protection is still there, but it's already loosening its grip. Fewer bodies between me and the world. fewer eyes tracking my hands. Survey doesn't disappear. It blinks like it's being reassigned. Tomorrow, no one will need to watch me breathe. There's a temptation to use the last hours theatrically. One final statement, one last important message. I skip it. Grand endings feel dishonest after a day like this. Power taught me that clarity rarely arrives wrapped in speeches. It arrives later, quietly, when no one is listening. I think about how fast everything attached itself to me this morning. Access, deference, weight. How absurdly easy it was to borrow all of it. No background checks on my psyche, no test to see if I could carry it without bending. And yet, living inside it permanently must be unbearable. The pressure isn't episodic, it's ambient. Fame doesn't solve problems. It replaces them with visibility, expectation, and the constant suspicion that even your private thoughts are in dress rehearsal. I was never alone today, not really. Even silence had witnesses. Every pause was monitored, every deviation from script treated like a potential malfunction. It's funny in a bleak way. People say power isolates you as a metaphor. It's not a metaphor, it's logistics. As night settles in, I notice how tired I am, not from work, but from being interpreted. From knowing that every gesture could be misread and then amplified until it hardens into something unrecognizable. From watching sincerity get flattened by speculation. Tomorrow, I return to normal life. That phrase sounds comforting until you understand what normal actually means. It means speaking without amplification, being ignored efficiently, watching doors close without explanation. It means my words will weigh exactly what they weigh, no more, no less. There's relief in that, and something unsettling too, because now I know how uneven influence really is, how temporary, how arbitrarily assigned. I know that truth doesn't change its quality, only its reach, and reach has very little to do with merit. I go to sleep aware that I'll wake up smaller, not lesser, just unprotected by illusion. And that might be the most honest state there is. Disclaimer. This video is a fictional, satirical thought experiment created for entertainment and reflection. It does not depict or represent the real thoughts, actions, intentions, personality, or private life of the public figure referenced. Any events, dialogue, or perspectives presented are imagined and symbolic. The purpose of this video is to explore broader ideas about fame, power, influence, and public perception, and how authority can shape meaning within society. It is not intended as a factual account, political statement, or personal portrayal of any real individual. Viewers are encouraged to interpret the content as conceptual commentary rather than literal representation.